Good morning. First of all, thank you so much, Franchisee India. It's a pleasure to be here and a wonderful opportunity to talk about entrepreneurship and innovation involved. The first thought that comes to my mind is when it is about entrepreneurship, how can innovation not be a core part of it? To me, it's almost synonymous, both these words. Having said that, I'm just sharing some thoughts in a structured manner. I think fundamentally, for an organization to be innovative, it needs to be in the DNA. Fundamentally, if the organization is not crafted to innovate and generate new ideas within itself, it is not going to work out. The fundamental DNA needs to be there. For any organization to be successful, fundamentally, you need to have consumers. So consumer acquisition is key to success. Whether you are in a B2C business, whether you are in a B2B business, consumer acquisition is key. And there is an opportunity to have some significant innovation in that space itself. So to draw a parallel into our business, fundamentally, like I said, we run loyalty programs. That's what we do. And roughly 5 years into running this organization, we now run loyalty programs for 203 million debit or credit cards in India. So I think we significantly innovated as we took up an entirely new model to get to a significant consumer base, which no other organization had done in India. So that's in some way our first innovation. The second innovation is our revenue model. Fundamentally, while there's a core belief that I have is that if your revenue model is a place where you need to have your interests aligned. So if you are always working with multiple stakeholders in the ecosystem, we as an organization, we run loyalty programs for a bunch of other organizations. So they are stakeholders. We have a bunch of other partner organizations. They are stakeholders. And end of the day, fundamentally, consumers, they are stakeholders. If you can create a business/revenue model where one particular activity will help everybody in the same direction. So you can keep pushing in that direction without any conflict. It's not that easy to create a model like that. It's almost like a virtuous cycle. You do a lot of stuff which is good for our client organizations, and when that's good for our client organizations, that will help our partner organizations, which will in turn deliver value for the consumers, and in turn will help us grow as an organization. So if you can create that virtuous cycle, that requires, I think, some serious amount of innovative thinking, and also to have your heart in the right place, so that you're not trying to cream off anyone, but trying to create a model which is value-driven and beneficial to everybody. If you got these two pieces right, there is another important point that I believe is business delivery. Very, very often I've seen organizations coming up in India, which typically, and I have nothing against those organizations, but fundamentally to take a model which has worked in the US, bring it to India, cut, copy, paste, launch it. I think while that's an interesting way of looking at business, it's also important to be able to contextualize that. And lastly, looking at an organizational structure where, if you've got your consumer strategy right, and if you've got your revenue model right, business delivery model, value proposition right, an interesting space for all of us. I'm assuming there are a lot of entrepreneurs here. When we build an organization, as all of us know, the most difficult and the most valuable thing is to get great talent. To get great talent and to retain that talent and to grow the organization and grow the talent, grow your team along with the organization. And I think there is a significant amount of scope for innovation there. It might sound counterintuitive to you, but I believe that there is significant amount of scope for improvement. So coming back to the original point that I said, if you fundamentally have the DNA of innovation in you, then everything that you do is innovative. So much so that as a small organization, we have constantly thought about, hey, can we do this? Hey, can we do that? And often enough, I go around saying this within the organization, and I've eventually heard other folks saying this particular line, saying that we are sort of grappling with a new thought, and should we do this? And someone will get up and say, hey, what the heck? Who are we scared of? Let's go do this. And that's become such a motto within the organization, you wouldn't believe. We eventually actually have it written down on very large letters on the wall. In one of the walls in our organization says, "Who are we scared of?" And it's actually written there in very, we got it printed there. And I believe that that sort of resonates the internal innovative spirit, saying, is there anything new that we are going to do? Can we do this? Heck, who are we scared of? Let's just go do this. As long as we've got the right basics in place and the interests are aligned, and let's just go do this. And that's really worked for us. So I would break down innovation fundamentally into the DNA and the culture of the organization. You either have it significantly or rather unlikely to have it a lot.